Hey everybody, Brandon Griffin here, aka the Realty Resource, and this is yet another edition of the Rooster, which is my weekly installment of everything related to real estate, and it is the week ending June 5th. Now, I want to say before I get started that real estate might not be anybody's focus at the moment. There's a lot going on, and I just want to acknowledge that, and also to say that, I've come here to deliver the real estate news, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay out of the rest of the stuff. But hopefully we'll see the world getting to a better place soon. All right, so not a whole lot has changed. Right now we've got pending sales skyrocketing. We saw a real bounce back after they let us start doing showings again. And the Denver Business Journal has shown 114% month-to-month change, which is not surprising because we weren't doing much last month, but 12% increase over 2019. So that's really significant. So showings lead to pendings, which lead to closings. So we'll see it go in that order. Last couple weeks I've been talking about showings. Now I'm talking about pendings, which are under contract properties. And then we're going to be talking about closings probably in the next couple weeks to a month. So basically what we did is we just delayed the busy season by a month or two. And what I do believe is going to happen is what tends to happen every year. We have a very cyclical market. As sellers start to see that there is this incredible surge going on, everything's getting into a bidding war and going well above asking, they're all going to try to jump on board at the same time, and we're going to see a fairly rapid change. There's also shifts and differences in micro markets that might be very different from the larger local market. So there's a couple different areas right now that are already seeing stagnation. It's not like everything sells in a weekend. So this is really, I think the takeaway here is that if you've been thinking about doing something, please talk to a trusted professional. I know I sound like a broken record, but they're going to help you to be able to analyze your local market and exactly what is going to affect your sale and you achieving your goals. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. This safer at home order has been extended until July 1st. All of the activity that we're seeing in the real estate market is despite that. So we are still making some pretty significant modifications. It starts with a bunch of advisories or disclosures that you must sign before you go out and show homes. There's no more open houses. Social distancing is still required. Obviously, we're doing masks and gloves. Only purchase participants are the ones doing the showings. No overlapping showings. We cannot show homes as much as we used to. So for sellers, even in this incredible market where we've got all these bidding wars going on, you might have access to a lot less buyers, and a lot less buyers have access to your home. So you really need to plan strategically for this. Buyers agents, going through and making sure that they're wiping down after or even during their showing. That's kind of what I do. I follow along and I wipe up just like I do with my son. We do all need to cooperate. We do all need to be flexible. Really great articles posted this week about short-term rentals. So we're talking about like Airbnb, vacation rental by owner, put up by Hostfully and AirDNA respectively. I'll post both of them in the comments. Initially, that entire industry tanked. Many people who owned those properties and used that as a source of income were now stuck with the mortgages and no income. So while they might have been kind of forced to sell, the forbearance programs that the government's kind of forcing the lending industry to allowed them to hold on to the properties even if they weren't being able to pay the mortgage. Now, due to these travel restrictions, border closures, people being pent up, from all the stay at home, because of all of that, domestic travel is up. And it's actually mostly to like vacation rentals rather than hotels, because they're more spaced out. You get a house or a cabin rather than a room that shares a buffet and shares a pool, right? Nobody wants to do that anymore. So people, and even shared rooms in Airbnbs, they're down like an incredible amount. So people want their own space and they want it to be spaced out as well. So they're going to I guess, more nature-focused destinations. We were seeing it bump up for cities and bump up for nature destinations, and now with, unfortunately, the riots and protests going on, we're seeing cities, a lot of cancellations, There are some really great tips in here about specifically what to do if you own an Airbnb. We're happy to help you kind of understand what the new good market is, because it's definitely shifting, and this might be more of a permanent change even as things start to come back to normal. These jobless claims are declining. These are the new initial jobless claims. So the furloughed folks now, as things are opening back up, are being called back to work, which is great. Consumer confidence is still low, but it might have hit a bottom, which is great because that is a signal of a rebound, and all these are good signs. You can see that the states are doing fairly well in terms of the COVID cases that are happening right now. We're either seeing a decline in most states or a stabilization. The Denver Business Journal is basically showing us that the rent was being paid on, more rent was being paid on time in May than in April, which we kind of weren't expecting. Another sign of recovery, which is really, really good. So with residential trends, we had about 91% of people able to pay their rent last month. 95% were able to pay on time this month. But Colorado in general is a better market than many nationwide in terms of being able to collect rent on time. Finally, the mortgage industry. This is the thing I have really been looking at. These amazing rates are causing a ton of apps. In fact, we've seen a record high for new mortgage applications. The rates have held steady amazingly, even though there's a lot of volatility. It's still a time to shop lenders because the warehouse lines and the structure of the company that you're borrowing the money from can really, really affect what they can offer you and for how long. We've been watching the bond market, international relations right now with China and Tokyo, the warehouse lines that we're talking about, investors essentially that are buying on the secondary market, and the forbearance applications. Those things, we're going to see how it all flushes out, because if there's a perfect storm, it's probably going to hit around the holiday season, which would line up right with our basically our 1 to 2 month delay in the busy season of our real estate market. So pay attention, keep watching. We're going to keep reading, researching, doing everything we can possibly do. And if you want all that information, like, follow, subscribe, and I will see you next week. Please stay safe. Please stay sane. And yeah, we'll see you. I'm going to take that out.